Hey guys, it's Miss Farriet and Carter. Say hello.
Hello.
Okay, today we are going to be making a collage. We're going to start by making our backgrounds. We just did a sky and grounds. We are actually going to be painting ours because Carter really wants to paint today. But if you don't have paints, you could just use a solid piece of construction paper, or you could take a white piece of paper and color with markers or colored pencils or crayons, the sky and the ground. We just did blues and greens, or we're going to do blues and greens on ours with some paint because we feel like painting today. So if you have paint, you could do that too. But that means we're gonna have to wait for it to dry before we can actually do our collage as well. So this may be a 2-day video. So we're gonna start with that, and then we are gonna go find some things around our house that have texture. Can you say texture?
Texture.
Texture is the way something feels, or the way it appears to feel. We are going to go look around our house for things that are bumpy or things that have like a textured design on them that is going to make a really cool imprint on our papers. So I challenge you right now to create some backgrounds. I'll post ours, and then I want you guys to go look around your house and find things that have texture. We always use Legos, so that's an idea, but I'm gonna try and see if we can find some other things around our house. If you don't have things that have texture, another thing that you could use is like the inside of an envelope, and I'll show you what that looks like. If your parents have any of those at home, that's something that you can use too because it has designs on it already. All right. Go find your textured items, and we'll see you in a minute. You can just use a sheet of construction paper or color your background if you want, but Carter's really been wanting to paint, so we are going to paint our sky and our grass at the bottom for our background. If you don't have paints at home, you can just go ahead and color with markers or colored pencils or crayons the sky and the ground. We are actually going to be making a collage today.
Oh, it's a collage, Mom.
A collage is when you overlap different pieces of paper and use different types of paper, and you can glue them on top of each other. Yes?
Is this the sky or?
The sky at the top, and then put some grass at the bottom. So anyways, like I was saying, he wanted to paint today. So we're going to paint ours, but that means that we're going to have to wait for this to dry before we can actually put our collage on top. But if you guys just want to color a sky, or not even do that, if you just want to do a piece of colored construction paper, you could do a piece of colored construction paper.
I got a little bit on ground, Mom.
That's all right. It's wood. We can wipe it off. But we are painting ours because we just felt like painting today. You know, you just get that itch to paint. So here we are. Can you get some of this white space over there and right there for me?
For the sky?
Get this, cover this white space for me. So we're just having fun and playing with some paints today.
Oh, collage.
You like that word, collage?
What was that light blue again?
This is like an aqua.
Aqua.
Like a lighter blue. It's almost like a blue-green though, honestly.
Like
it's
a
like
little
a
bit
teal.
hair on here.
That's because your paper got wet, remember? So the paper's kind of rolling up. That's okay. Come on, do this white space.
There's a little bit of white space right there.
Over here too. That looks nice. Lean back, buddy, so they can see. All right, paint right here, and then I think we're gonna be done. Looks very nice, Carter. All right, so we are all done with our background. So the next thing that we're gonna do is some texture pieces that I was telling you about. So I will come back and show you what we found around our house. Okay, so I actually, for our texture pieces, I have these papers, but I'm going to cut them in half so that we have smaller sheets of paper to do our texture on. So you're gonna need a couple of papers if you want yours to have a lot of variety. We're going to do 3. Sound good? 3 half sheets of paper. If you want to do more, that's fine. And I'm going to show you guys some of the things that we collected around our house. So looking around, I found this large Lego top that definitely has a bumpy feel. Feel it and tell me the texture of that. What does it feel like?
Bumpy.
Bumpy. It's how you would describe something. So that one is bumpy. I also have this little flat Lego piece that's going to make like some smaller dots or texture on our
Bumpy
papers. And then we found like this net. I don't know how we're going to do this. We'll figure it out. And it has this circular pattern on it. So if we put that underneath, it'll create a texture as well. I also grabbed, we have this net that has that same kind of feel. So I'm going to try that underneath mine. This is going to be interesting, but I found this stool and it has stars on it. So I thought that would be kind of cool if we put that under the paper and the stars actually showed up on our papers.
Yeah,
I just thought that would make a really nice pattern.
It feels kind of bumpy to me.
And then when I was telling you guys about envelopes, I wanted to show you that if you get an envelope that your parents get in the mail, normally when they have to mail something back, or if you get something, if you cut it open, it has a pattern on the other side. So for your collage, if you wanted a different pattern, because the more patterns, the more interesting it's gonna be, this really does on the inside of the envelopes to make for a nice texture. Now, it doesn't feel like anything, right? But it does have implied texture, meaning you look at it and it looks like it has.
It looks like it has like little lines.
Yeah, okay. So we are going to take some of these items and we are going to start rubbing them with crayons. Now remember in class, I always tell you guys that broken crayons still work. Well, in this case, you know these really old crayons where the paper comes off and you guys are like, oh no, my paper came off. These are actually the best ones to use for projects like this because you can lay them down and drag them across to make the texture. So we are going to be using a whole bunch of old crayons that we have that have been broken, and the stuff, the paper is peeled off and we have a bunch of different colors, oranges and all that. So we're gonna use those to create our pictures. I'm gonna show you guys how to do this. Are you ready, Carter? I'm gonna let you use orange because I know that's your favorite color. And I am going to use this green. Now, what do you want to use underneath yours?
Little just dots and stuff and lines.
Pick one. Come on, let's go. Which one are you gonna use? I'm gonna use this one first.
And I'm gonna use this one.
Okay, so put your paper on top of it. So I'm gonna put this down and then put my paper on top of it.
This is probably gonna work. I don't know if it is.
You're off of the camera. Can you come over here, right here, bud? Okay, get your crayon. And I'm going to hold it underneath and I'm going to use this broken crayon and I'm going to lay it and I'm going to push and drag it back and forth and it's going to create some texture on my paper. Can you guys see that?
It kind of looks
Carter,
like
can you try and do yours? Go ahead. Is it working? Let me see. I don't know. I don't see the circles. You're doing it in the middle too. Let's see. Let's see if we lay it flat and push. Go ahead, push real hard. Right here, baby. Push, 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 push. Do you see it? It's working. Move it all around. I love it. Can you guys see that on the camera? Super cool. So we are going to do a few different ones like this. I'm going to fill up each piece of paper and I'm going to try and make each one different colors. That way it makes it more interesting. So I want you guys just to kind of have some fun. I'm going to do a little time lapse of us doing this because I do think it's going to take a while. And you guys go ahead and start on your texture papers as well. Hey guys, we're back. We had to wait for our pictures, our backgrounds to dry because Carter wanted to paint them. So we have two just landscape, sky, and grass pictures. Remember, if you had to paint, you have to wait for it to dry. But if not, you can do it in colored pencils, crayons, markers. That actually would be a little better. But Carter really wanted to paint. Also, after doing our texture pictures, I just was kind of thinking about friends who maybe don't have all of the supplies or can't really find anything. Another option is that you can draw designs. So if you have your piece of paper like this when I use the mesh, instead you could do scribbles, or you could do lines, you could do diagonal lines, you could do circles, you could do hearts. You can come up with your own designs. It doesn't just have to be texture. I just thought it would be fun for us to talk about something new instead of just doing a draw along. So if you want to just do designs or lines on your pictures, that's perfectly fine too. We just chose to do textures today because that's something that I was teaching Carter about. Okay, so right now I'm going to show you guys how we're going to make our houses. So what we're doing is a collage on these papers, and we're going to do a bunch of houses or buildings. It's kind of up to you on how you want to do them, and they're going to go across the front. So we're just going to draw a couple of shapes. I'm going to kind of keep this easy for Carter. We're going to draw some rectangles and some triangles and some squares, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so the easiest way to do this is instead of drawing my shapes on my actual texture, I don't want to mess up on this side. So if I make a mistake, I can draw it on the back instead, and it still makes the same shape. And then when I flip it over, I will have my texture. So I'm actually going to draw on the back of mine. Let's each just start with one corner. I'm going to do the same thing on each one. Oh, that must have been a recycled piece of paper. I am going to use my pencil. Here, Bubby. And I am going to start by drawing a rectangle for my building. So I'm going to start all the way on the side, and I'm going to come up as tall as I want my house to be. Start on the left side. And then I'm going to come over, probably about 3 or 4 fingers wide. I want my house to be interesting. I'm going to add like windows and stuff to it. And then back down to the bottom.
Mama, I can't make it.
It's nice. I like it. So you're going to come. Okay, so you're gonna come over there and down. Good, so we've got our rectangle. The next thing that I'm gonna do is a triangle. So you can do this wherever you want, Carter, on your paper. You're gonna draw a wide triangle. You need some help, you want some lines here, some dots, sorry. Can you connect those dots and make me a triangle? So obviously that's gonna be one of our roofs for our houses. Connect it at the bottom. And then I'm going to do a smaller rectangle right here. Maybe this is a door. Maybe it's a window. Can you draw me another rectangle somewhere on your paper?
Can you help me with the
Anywhere you want.
dots?
Here, 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 here. Can you connect them? Make me a rectangle. And I'm going to do one more. And you guys, obviously, if you want to make more, if you want to make a circle window, if you want one to be a window, one to be the door, you could change it up as we go. Can you draw me a circle? Okay, we're actually going to go ahead and do this same exact thing on the back of all 3 of our papers, or however many papers you want. We're going to do the same thing on each one of them. So I will fast forward through that. Carter is finishing up his last one. So on all 3 of my papers, remember the texture's on the opposite side. On the back of each of them, I drew a large rectangle for the building, a triangle for the roof, and 2 more rectangles or squares. And then I just drew a circle on some of those because I might add like a circle detail. And now we're going to go ahead and start cutting all of these out. So I will fast forward through that for you guys. And remember, I might use this envelope, the inside of the envelope as well. I did save like my extra scraps of paper and stuff just because I thought these were really cool. And if I'm, you know, thought I needed more of one, I could always just use those. But I have all my little pieces of paper, and I'm going to start with my large rectangles. And I usually use a glue with a paintbrush, but we're just trying to finish this quickly today, so I am going to just help Carter put dots of glue. Remember, just a dot, not a lot. And so I'm going to start with this big purple piece, putting a couple of dots on there. I don't want to get too crazy. That's good. And I'm going to start on the left side of my paper, and you could always start like at the bottom if you want. I think I'm going to start at the bottom of my paper, and I'm going to start making buildings. So I have this one, and then I'm going to look, okay, well, I don't want a purple roof, so maybe I'll look over here and see maybe this orange roof might look nice on there. And I could still do like an orange door, and I could do like my green texture. I could do that like as a window. And we're gonna start laying these out and creating our collage. So I'm gonna put, maybe this house is kind of in front of the other one or behind it. I'm gonna overlap it just a little bit like that and move my window. And maybe I give this a green roof like this, and then switch it up. Maybe I'll do a purple door, or that could be a window. And then I could do like my green piece of paper that I have as the door. And so then I would go ahead and glue all these pieces on. Does that make sense, buddy? You want to start grabbing some of your rectangles and laying them out and making your houses? Lay it out how you want it first, and then maybe decide how you're going to glue that down, okay? All right, I'm going to fast forward, guys. Our collages of our houses came out. We had a lot of fun with this activity. It was really fun walking around the house, huh, Carter, and going to find like different things that were textured and playing with texture and learning about texture in collages today. I hope that you guys will join us again. We will be doing a draw along video next time. That's what Carter likes. All right, guys, we hope that you had a good time, and come back and see us again. I miss you guys, and I can't wait to see you all again. Keep drawing. Say bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys. See you next time.